and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having an awesome weekend so far. I hope that you are all staying optimistic and staying happy. Welcome, Alina. Hi, Abakumova. Nice to see students ready to learn right away. And we are going to learn, specifically focusing on speaking part 3 of the speaking section of the IELTS exam. It is the challenging, detailed questions following speaking part 2. We are going to be looking for that band 9 result as well. This is an all chat class. Everybody can join the chat. We are continuing on the topic of useful items. So we just did part 2 30 minutes ago, and that was about an object that you take with you when you leave home. Now, arguably, most objects we take with us when we leave our home are useful items. So it's no surprise that part 3 will continue with this topic, okay? Now, whenever you get into part 3, keep in mind the ideas that you came up with in part 2, okay? So remember the topics that we came up with in part 2, or the ideas? And this is another reason why it's really important to come up with more than just one idea for part 2. So another very important reason to think of at least 2 to 3 good ideas for part 2 is so that you have good ideas for part 3. Okay, so in part 2 we talked about taking our wallet with us. Okay, but we also had some other really good ideas before we decided to talk about the wallet. Okay, all right. Now we've got lots of students joining in, which is fantastic. What were some of those other ideas? Eugen, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for those lovely emojis. Ken, I'm happy that you made it back here as well. So what were some of those really good ideas that our members and other students came up with for part 2? What were those? You remember? I remember some of them. So I think it was Rashika that came up with the debit card. Okay. And then we also had the idea of taking a thermos with us. Right. And there was the eco bag by Cassandra. Okay. Maria says, let's not forget about that hand sanitizer. We didn't have sunglasses, Saeed, but you know what? That's another really good one. So let's put it up there. Yeah, Tatiana, very nice. Headphones. So all of these ideas will become very valuable for us when we get into these part 3 questions. Now, before we get into these part 3 questions, everyone, again, just a reminder that this class is brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. In fact, if you have a moment, I highly recommend signing up, at least for the free version of the class, by clicking this green button right there, because we are using this website today to do the speaking section and chat with students. Now, if you like this class and you want all of our practice exams and videos and lots more, then click the big red button for the premium IELTS package. Doesn't cost a lot. We're an IELTS test registration center certified agents. We're one of the most popular IELTS preparation tools in the world. So you click the join now and then use the discount code perfect 9 And then you get a 20% discount that we're kind of promoting in these classes and with our latest release. If you're a general IELTS student, it's gieltshelp.com. Click that big red button there. And again, definitely create a user account so that you can join our speaking session today. We have a speaking chat interface on the website, so that's what you're going to be using. Okay, and you need this code PERFECT9 for that 20% discount. Instagram, IELTS_AE help, and GIELTS help. Lots of fun vocabulary videos and other news. And again, to all of our viewers, reminder, no classes on Wednesdays into the future now. Okay, so we are going to be doing classes Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and they're going to be longer classes. They're going to be 90-minute classes, so longer classes for more interaction, and we will produce more HD videos. So lots of exciting changes will be coming up. If you're not sure about some of this information, you have some questions, just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. I will answer your questions. Hello, Nurtan from Azerbaijan. All right. So that is the key information that you have to pay attention to. Now, let's go to part 3. Okay. So speaking part 3 continues from part 2. The examiner will say, okay, your time is up. Please put the questions, the note paper to the side. I will take back the questions. Now we will continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you some more questions related to the topic of part 2. Amrit, thank you for that feedback. Amrit says, sir, I like that you will extend the live classes. Yeah, I think we're going to definitely give that a shot. I think it's the right approach. Okay, so then the examiner says, let's talk about useful possessions. And that's what we're going to do. Now, a lot of students have heard tips, strategies throughout the week about what to do for the speaking section. And now it's time to use those speaking strategies. So I'm going to get right into volunteering today, okay? I'm not going to waste any time. I want to give lots of opportunity for people to interact in this class. So to volunteer for speaking, everyone, again, you need to register an account at aehelp.com. Then you click, you log into your account, your My Student account, and there you will see a student partner speaking option. So you click on that. Enable your microphone. Please test it. So I should have put this here a long time ago, but test this with other students. Okay. So test that with other students, and then when you know it works, you're like, okay, it works on my phone, on my tablet, whatever you're using. Then you can say, all right, I'm going to volunteer now. And then when you're ready to volunteer, message me. You're going to see me as master, and then click on the blue envelope and write, I want to volunteer. Now, if this is confusing, don't worry. I will show you exactly how this works. So you go to the website, gieltshelp.com or aehelp.com. You click on either the big red button and you purchase the package, or this green button for free, register an account. Then you have a My Student account right there. Click on that if you're not already logged in. And then you'll see all of our goodies, computer-based practice exams. Oh, that's if you have the premium package, of course. You'll have PDF exams, study plans, like 100 lesson videos, lots more, writing task 1 and 2. And then you'll have the student partner speaking. Okay, click on that. Accept that you will be polite and you are responsible for your communication. There's some instructions there. You can read that after. You can always book an IELTS speaking interview with me to practice your speaking. And then you will be redirected and you will see all of this all these people, awesome people in here. Okay. All right. Ken, yes, glasses are extremely important for people with bad eyes or their contact lens, right? Ken is in here. Ugulhan is in here. Yosra is in here. Cristiano is in here. Now, all you have to do is volunteer. You're going to see me as master. See how here it says you, master? You're going to see me like this. Click on the blue envelope and then send me a message. Say, I want to volunteer. And then I can connect with you. And then we can practice speaking. I can give you feedback and we can help everybody learn with strategy. So lots of fun to be had, lots of valuable information to be shared. Ruptaj, I believe, is ready to volunteer here. So let me connect with Ruptaj. Ruptaj says, I want to volunteer. Okay, Ruptaj, are you ready? I will always message you back, students, just to make sure you haven't gone for coffee or a washroom break or something. So when you see me send you a message back, like you write, I want to volunteer, and then I message you back, like, are you ready? Please send me a message like, yes, I am, or sure, or let's go, or let's do this, Adrian, or ready as I'll ever be. So some sign of life and communication wherever you are in the world, and then I can call you, okay? Otherwise, if I cold call you, then I might not get an answer. Right? So right now, Ruptaj, I am waiting for you to say yes, I'm ready, or text me yes or yup. If I don't see that come up in a few moments, then I will move on to somebody else. And again, be patient, students, because you never know when I ping you, okay? All right. So I'm not getting a response from, oh, there's Ruptaj. Okay, now I got some response. Last second, Ruptaj. Whew. All right. I'm calling you. Make sure you have a good connection, Ruptaj. I don't recommend trying this with a weak internet connection. All right, Ruptaj, not sure what's going on there, but check the system on your end. Make sure your internet connection is good enough, okay? Cristiano says, I want to volunteer. Okay, Cristiano, are you ready? All right. And again, be patient, everyone. We definitely make connections sooner than later, and then we get right into it. Okay. So be on the ready. Let's do it, Adrian. All right, Cristiano. Oh, I think we lost Cristiano, interestingly, there. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Oh, wait, let me try one more time. There's Cristiano. Hello, Cristiano. It seems like you picked up, but I cannot hear you. I'm not sure if it might be a connectivity issue because you had a dropped call there. So make sure that you have a stable internet connection. Okay. Test it with somebody else, Cristiano, and then come back. Okay. All right. Because I can't hear you for sure. So there's something I think on your end there. All right, Sun. Let's see if Sun is ready. Sun, are you ready? And I believe we've talked to Sun before. Sun is in Taiwan, if I remember correctly, but we'll soon find out. So it should work. Highly recommend using a PC laptop. Stable Wi-Fi or LAN connection, of course, is ideal for these types of communications. Hi, Son. Hi, Son.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Son. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Welcome back. All right. Son, may I ask, where are you?
Uh, I'm in Vietnam.
In Vietnam. For some reason, I thought Taiwan a second ago, but you are in Vietnam. What city in Vietnam?
The capital city, Hanoi.
You are in Hanoi. Okay, son. Why are you taking the IELTS exam?
I want to apply to the university.
Okay, now here's the first tip, son, and to everybody. Give details when you're speaking with the examiner. So, what major or what subject are you planning to study?
Um, I'm planning to study IT.
Okay. All right. So, son, for the IELTS, what you want to do always is be really expressive. So, if somebody, if the examiner asks you, why are you taking the IELTS, you should say, I'm planning to major in IT at a university in California. Okay. So, location, specific major, the reason. So try to combine all of that because that's how you get higher band scores. All right, let me ask you a speaking part 3 question and focus on giving me a nice full sentence answer, okay? Son?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about useful possessions. What are some items that people often carry with them in their pockets?
I believe some useful objects that individuals have with them in their pockets are their wallet, uh, their house key, uh, their phone, because these are urgent situation, just like my mother's when she uh, my mother when she saw an accident, she immediately got her phone and called the ambulance.
Okay. All right. So that, son, would be 5.5, 5.5. If you would have said it faster, it would be an easy 6.5 because your answer was pretty good. So you gave an answer, explanation, and an example, which is the right approach. That's what you want to do. And you had some good paraphrasing at the beginning. So you said, I believe some useful objects instead of items, instead of people. You said individuals. Instead of carry with them, you said have with them. And those were really good. Watch your plurals. So you said in their pocket, in their pockets. Many people have many pockets. Okay. Are their wallets, their house keys, and their phones, right? Many people, many objects. So use the plural, okay? Because these are necessary in urgent situations. So yeah, urgent situations is okay. I would say instead of urgent situations, I would say daily life, right? Like your phone and your keys. You need those in daily life, not just urgent situations. So here, I think it would have made a bit more sense to say because these are necessary in daily life. Okay. All right. Why? So the explanation here was a little bit on the weaker side. So why do we have our house keys? Why do we have our phone? Why do we have our wallet? Okay. So you could give a bit more explanation here. So a wallet is needed for purchases. The keys are needed to secure the house, and phones are needed for communication. And then you said, just like my mother, when she saw an accident, she immediately got her phone and called the ambulance. And you can even get really creative, which helped save a person's life. Okay, so finish the idea. Now you have a band 9 as long as you're fluent. So you have the right idea, son. It's just a matter of practice, and you're doing that by coming to this live class and volunteering. So very good for you, okay? All right, son, I'm going to read this question again, give this answer, and then once I finish the answer, just repeat after me. Does that sound good? Son, are you still with me?
Yes.
Okay, all right, son. I can kind of hear you there. So, all right, son, here we go. So, what are some useful items that people often carry with them in their pockets? I believe some useful
Yes.
objects that individuals have with them in their pockets are their wallets, their house keys, and their phones, because these are necessary in daily life. A wallet is needed for purchases, keys are needed to secure the house or the home, and phones are needed for communication. Just like my mother, when she saw an accident, she immediately got her phone and called the ambulance, which helped save a person's life. Okay, here we go, son. What are some useful items that people often carry with them in their pockets? Go for it.
I believe some useful objects that individuals have with them in their pockets are their wallets, their house keys, their phones, because these are necessary in daily life. A wallet is needed for purchases, the keys are needed to secure the house, and phones are needed for communication. Just like my mother, when she saw an accident, she immediately got her phone and called the ambulance, which saved a person's life.
Nice, son. Okay, so that's what you want to practice. Okay, now pay attention to your intonation, make it natural, don't rush, okay, and really enunciate the words. Son, that was a really good first volunteer, so thank you so much, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your weekend in Hanoi. Bye, son. All right.
You choose,
Thank you,
sir.
son. All right, I think we had a little bit of a delay there with some, but that was pretty good. Okay, so Selena says, nice, good job. Yeah, support each other. Learning is best done when you are encouraged and supported. Absolutely. So thumbs up for son. Okay, Maria Costina. Let's try to reach out to our member, Maria. I'm not sure if I've ever heard Maria's voice, but we'll soon find out. Okay, Maria, are you ready? Here we go. Hopefully we'll move along nice and steady now, and then we'll be able to cover all the questions. Maria is ready. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Maria.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome. Maria, I think this is the first time I'm hearing your voice. Am I correct?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm fine.
well, it's a pleasure to hear your voice finally. I've seen you in the chat interacting, and that's great. Maria, may I ask, where are you?
Yes, I'm from Romania.
Romania, awesome. I have Hungarian roots, so Romania is very close to us, and there's lots of Hungarians living there as well. Maria, why are you taking the IELTS exam?
I'm taking the IELTS exam because I want to start the PhD in business administration.
Yes, and just like with Son, give detail. So you're giving detail, give a little bit more detail. Automatically, the next question in my mind right now, Maria, is where. So you've given me what, now give me the where. So where are you planning to do that?
Well, I'm planning to take it here in Bucharest, Romania.
Okay, and you need the IELTS for that locally.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm not actually too surprised because for the past few years now, a lot of universities that are not necessarily English universities are also requiring IELTS exams, which makes sense because as a PhD student, you have to be able to present your ideas to the international community. And of course, that's done in English, right? So it's not a surprise. Okay, Maria, well, I want to help you with that project. So let me go back to our syllabus here, and I will ask you a question. Give me a nice full sentence answer, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, are there any useless things that people often carry around with them?
In
Whenever
my
you're ready.
opinion, some useless objects that people carry around are especially for women. They take, let's say, um, their lipstick, their foundation, their concealer, their brushes, their um, sprays, and I strongly believe that it's not necessary. You can do this makeup part when you're at home before leaving for your job, and not take them with you when you're going to your job. And I strongly believe that an employer doesn't uh, hire you to go there and do your makeup there. He hires you to
How have
be
items that people
professional.
consider useful? So I have to interrupt you. I don't want to be rude with you, Maria, especially since it's our first time. But I will tell you this, the examiner at this point will interrupt you. Okay, that's just the
Okay.
reality. They'll just cut in, and there's a reason for that. They want to ask you more questions to assess your speaking. So when students start to ramble, it's called rambling. When we just kind of talk. Like now you're talking about what an employer wants me to do at work and what they don't want me to do. We're not talking about useless objects anymore, right? So as soon as the examiner feels like you're not really talking about the question anymore, they will cut you, and then it's awkward because then you're like, oh, what did you just say? Like I didn't catch the question because I was still thinking and talking. So you don't want that situation, Maria, okay?
Okay.
So the first tip is definitely just answer and stop. Don't keep talking, otherwise it's going to be a very awkward communication and your score will go down unnecessarily. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, let me give you some more feedback. So it was kind of, I felt like, this question was a bit challenging for you. Of course, it's your first time, so you're nervous as well. And that's making it a little bit more difficult to think about good ideas for the response, right? It took you a while to start, which would cost you for fluency marks. So this answer that you just gave me would be a 5 to a 6. Okay, so it would be considered a little bit less than fluent. A 5 is just under fluent. But I think that your English, you should be scoring at least a 7, Maria, okay? So you need to practice. You need to practice the right strategy. For this one, you're getting a 5, closer to a 5, I think. You said, in my opinion, some useless objects that people carry around with them, and then you said especially for women. And you said makeup, and then the reason is because they should be doing their makeup at home and not while they're doing their tasks outdoors. Okay, visualize. So picture it, okay? So instead of focusing on the examiner and becoming more and more nervous, kind of create a mirror and look inward and look at yourself and picture your own life. When I think about useless objects in my pocket, I often think about, okay, when I reach into my pocket and pull out items, what are those items that I'm often pulling out that I'm just kind of pulling out and throwing into the garbage, pulling out and throwing into the garbage? So when you think about that, Maria, what items do you often pull out of your pocket that go directly into the garbage?
Like a shopping receipt.
Yeah, very good. A receipt. I'm always tossing out receipts, right? Why do we're killing all these poor trees for useless receipts, right?
Yes.
So useless receipts. Yeah, we get most of them digitally. You get your bank statement anyway. Those receipts are so often completely useless these days. Yeah, useless receipts. Okay, what else do you throw out of your pockets that are just like, ugh, what is this doing in my pocket?
Like a pen.
Okay, a pen that doesn't work anymore. Sure, pen. Okay, what else? I know that there's definitely there are like at least one or two in my head that immediately just jump. Like they're like, oh yeah, of course, it's all the time I'm throwing it out of my pocket. So what else? How about a candy wrapper? You ever have candy wrappers that are somehow staying in your pocket way too long, and then like after a week you're like, why is this chocolate wrapper still in my pocket? All right, so candy wrapper. How about a used tissue? You ever have that happen where you pull out like a used tissue paper or something similar that you've used to blow your nose and you're like, oh, why did I put that into my pocket? Right? So use tissue paper, right? So there are all kinds of useless items that people hoard around with them in their pockets.
A bus ticket.
Bus ticket, absolutely. Ken in the chat, they're saying napkins from fast food. Yeah, Tatiana says, yeah, Iconic says, so bus ticket, use bus tickets, right? So there are definitely lots of items that we have. So what you want to do is you just want to stop, visualize, and put yourself in the situation. Usually the questions for all of the speaking, so part 1, part 2, and part 3, they're questions that most of us experience quite often in life. So as long as we're able to stay calm and kind of visualize and focus on ourselves, then we should be able to generate at least 2-3 kind of good answers for this, right? Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do, Maria, is instead of giving you a sentence with these, I think you can do a much better job this time with these items. I'm just going to ask you the question again and then give you a second chance. How does that sound?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. So, are there any useless things that people often carry around?
Some useless items that people carry around are some useless receipts, like a used pen, maybe a candy wrapper, or a used tissue paper, or an expired bus ticket. And whenever you need to pull up your phone or your keys from the house, you have the unpleasant surprise that those items shouldn't find their way in your pocket.
Much better. Okay, that was definitely much closer to a band 7. Absolutely. Now, another really, really important tip, Maria, and this is a tip for everybody because it's a very common mistake amongst people, is the you. And notice how in your first answer, you did this. So you said you can do this to, you can do this makeup part when you are at home and when you're leaving for your job. Now, imagine that I'm your examiner, Maria. I'm a guy. I don't really put on makeup. Sometimes when I'm doing video shoots, a little bit, but that's about it. But I usually don't put on makeup. So if you're telling me, like, you're sitting there and you're going like, you can put your makeup on at home, like, are you realizing that you're talking to a guy that's not wearing makeup, right? So it's awkward. Okay, so we want to avoid the you kind of pronoun in our discussion. Okay, because it's awkward.
Okay.
It makes for awkward communication. So instead of the you, use people or use I. Okay, so here I think the beginning was really good. You said that some items that are not necessary, which people often have in their pockets, are receipts from their shopping, a pen that doesn't work, maybe a candy wrapper, or used tissue paper, expired bus ticket. And then make the example personal. You can say like, I'm always throwing these items out of my pocket at the end of the day when I get back home, and I'm often surprised how much of these garbage items there are in my pockets. So make it personal, okay? Or make it general, people, individuals, all right?
Okay.
All right, Maria, but you're on the right track, okay? So slow it down, visualize. If you need time to visualize, use an expression like, oh, that's an interesting question. Give me a second to think about it. It's okay to say that, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Maria, so keep practicing that. Avoid using you. As soon as you hear yourself use the word you, stop yourself and correct yourself. Say, I mean people or individuals, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good job, Maria, and I hope to hear your voice again soon, okay?
Of course.
Okay. Bye, Maria. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, that was Maria. Give Maria a thumbs up. That was her first time volunteering, so definitely give some encouragement to Maria. All right, thumbs up. Ken Russell says, how about some promotional perfumes from the mall? Yeah, those can be a surprise, especially if you throw your pants in the washer or dryer. All right. Tatiana has been very patient here. Let's give Tatiana a chance. Okay, Tatiana, are you ready? Tatiana says ready as I'll ever be, but I do want to make sure, Tatiana, that you are still here and listening, paying attention to us. So Eddie, I see you there as well. Stay in the queue. I'll be circling to you in just a moment here. So we're moving along nicely. Okay, so some really important tips. Students, visualize, okay? Don't use you in your answers. Draw from real life. Think about your daily activities. Think about common situations. These are very important tips. Don't forget about the items and the responses that you thought of in part 2, right? Tatiana, still waiting to see if you're there. I see you in the chat, Tatiana, but it's like you're kind of paying attention more to the chat than what I'm saying here, Tatiana. And I'm asking, okay, you know what, Tatiana, I'm just going to call you because I can see that you're there, but maybe I need to just here we go. Let me just see if I can cold call and distract you.
Hello, Adrian.
Hi, Tatiana. How are you?
A little bit sick, but nothing serious. I'm ready to answer your question.
Okay. If you're feeling like you've got the flu a little bit, one really good trick that I have for that is grapefruit seed extract. It's a natural remedy. You mix it with orange juice.
Grapefruit.
Yeah, it's grapefruit seed extract.
Seed.
So it's the oil they take from the seed
I
of
know
the grapefruit. Yeah, you mix it with orange juice. Drink a cup of that and you might just be fine the next day. All right, that's some health tips. Health tips from Adrian.
Okay.
All right.
I'll follow your advice.
All right, so it's a very powerful immune booster. Okay, Tatiana, so let me just jump to the questions here and then give me a nice full sentence answer, okay? Here we go. How have items that people consider useful to have on their person changed from a generation before?
Yeah, could you please switch to the question?
Mm-hmm. I'll repeat. Okay, so I'll repeat it one more time. How have items that people consider useful to have on their person changed from a generation before?
I think that object that people used to believe to be very useful have changed greatly from the previous times. These items have become smaller and portable. Also, they have changed in terms of purpose. People used to carry phone books with them to be able to call their acquaintances from phone boxes. But now, instead of that, people carry smartphones with them. Also, instead of big wallets with lots of banknotes and coins, people use flat and small debit cards in their card holders. And I'm not an exception. I have a smartphone and a card holder instead of a wallet that I used to carry with me like 20 years ago.
Nice. Beautiful. That's a great answer, Tatiana.
Thank you very
walked
much.
through it. So that would be like a band 8. Okay. You really gave a good answer, explanation, example there. It took you a moment to kind of steer your thoughts onto the...
I just didn't think the screen. I just didn't see the screen.
Now, Tatiana, bad news. You don't get to see any kind of screen in the real exam either. Okay.
Thank you for warning.
Yeah, so I mean, I hope everybody realizes that when you're looking at the screen and you're reading the question, that's a lot of extra help, because in the real exam, there's no looking at questions. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
It's just audio, right?
You spoiled us.
Yeah, I am. It's an unfair advantage. So what, when you're doing this, and Tatiana, you come back and you volunteer regularly, which is, it's great. Do try to do it first just from hearing me ask you the question instead of actually reading the question. Okay. So it's important to do that, especially at your level. It's important to do that. Now, if you don't catch the question the first time, ask for it to be repeated. So especially in part 3, once or twice, absolutely okay. So you can say, I'm sorry, I'm nervous, I didn't catch it, could you repeat that? And the examiner, especially with someone who has a band 7 or 8 level communication, they will gladly repeat it. So they will say, yes, how have items that people considered useful to have on their person changed from a generation before? And then you're like, oh, okay, you'll get it. Okay, so ask for it to be repeated, but there's no reading. So if you say to the examiner, may I see the question? They'll be like, no, you can't. So
of course, it was funny.
Yeah, so I was kind of smiling there. But okay, and then your answer, you said, I think that object, and you were a little bit slow to start because I could feel like you were really trying to paraphrase the question elements. Don't slow yourself down purposefully to paraphrase. If it's slowing you down, then just use the question as is. So while the items that people consider to be useful have changed a lot, so use the question more directly. You'll have time to paraphrase more afterwards. So don't slow down just to force the paraphrasing, okay? And then you started to give an explanation before you gave an answer. So you said the items have become smaller. By the way, beautiful use of the present perfect. So you really paid attention to reflecting present perfect. That was really good. So you said have become smaller and more portable. Okay. And I was like, okay, but what are you talking about? Like, are you talking about, communication device or money? And then you started to give the answer. You said like people used to carry around, and you said phone books, which I kind of smiled inside when you said that, because I visualized somebody carrying like a big, especially, like if you're in Moscow or Vancouver, you've got a pretty big phone book. So if you're carrying that around, you're going to need a backpack. I don't think we would say phone books. I would say like an organizer. Okay, or a contact, like a notebook or something, but not really so much a
contact book.
Yeah,
reference book.
Yeah, not really a phone book. But it was okay. The examiner is not going to judge you so much for that. Yes, some kind of a phone book, sure. And then you said, but these days people carry around smartphones with them. And then you said, I'm no exception. I have a mobile phone in my pocket. So that was a really good finish. It was the middle and the ending that proved to me that you're deserving of that band 8. Okay, so that was really good. All right. So big tip here, don't force the paraphrase, start a little bit faster when possible, okay? Also careful with using an explanation before giving an answer. It is a possible strategy, but it can be trickier, so careful with that. Otherwise, overall, very good. Do you have a question for me?
Yes, I have a question. Is it a typo, or in what connection there is be in front of the person? Useful to have on the person, things that people consider useful to have on the person.
Yeah, so in the question, yeah, very nice. Yeah, it's English vocabulary, grammar. It's very tricky, right? If anybody studies linguistics and looks at English, it's quite funny because you have the book of rules of English grammar and it's like that. And then you have the exceptions to the rules of English grammar and it's like a book that's 3 times bigger. So we've got all kinds of strange and interesting things going on with English grammar. This is an okay grammar. There's nothing wrong here. So how have items that people consider useful to have on their person?
Their person.
Yeah, and their here indicates plural people. So
on them.
On them is okay. Their person is like a synonym for them in this case. Okay.
It's new to me. Thank you.
Yeah, and you might see it like this on their persons, like that. You might see it as plural, but it's okay both ways. Notice how even Microsoft Word is not underlining. It's saying that, hey, yeah, if you want to say person, it's okay. If you're saying persons, and I do have grammar check going, it's still saying it's okay. And Grammarly will say the same because it's a form that shows that it's multiple individuals. So on their person, on their persons. These are expressions meaning multiple people. Okay?
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It sounds weird, but I'll get used to it.
It does. It's one of those. It's kind of one of those ones that are awkward. But what you can do after the class, Tatiana, is you can Google it, and I'm sure you'll find some interesting explanations. They'll be like, yes, this is used for indicating multiple individuals in the language. Okay. Good question.
Yeah.
All right, Tatiana, thank you for volunteering. Thank you for the question, and have a great rest of your weekend. I hope you feel better.
Thank you. The same to you. Bye-bye.
Okay, goodbye, Tatiana. All right. Give Tatiana a thumbs up. That was really good. Some really good questions there as well. Okay, Eddie is still with us. Let's see if we can reach out to Eddie. Eddie says, I want to volunteer. Okay, Eddie, are you ready? I told you I'd circle back to you. I'm a man of my word. All right, let's go for another question with Eddie. Eddie is ready. Anxiously waiting. Awesome. Eddie is actually the name of my uncle. Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
Awesome.
Hi.
Eddie, mute YouTube so that you're not getting feedback into your
Great.
microphone. So just click the mute button on YouTube and then we won't hear that feedback. Okay?
Sure. Yeah,
All right.
sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Eddie, where are you in our big, wide world today?
I live in Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia.
Capital of Indonesia. Nice. Okay, awesome. And why are you doing the IELTS exam?
Yeah, I want to pursue my higher degree in Australia. Yeah, it is a PhD degree.
What major?
Data science.
Can you be more specific?
It is about the data, how to deal with the analytic, how you can reap the benefit of the big data that you have nowadays.
Okay. So data analysis, logistics, statistics. All right. Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Let's go to a part 3 question and give me a nice full sentence answer. Okay. All right. So here we go. In what situations should people pay extra attention to make sure that they carry with them certain useful possessions?
Yeah, sure. In general, maybe people should give more attention to the occasion that essential for their life. For example, in the future, their future. First, let's say you are in the way to propose your future wife, for example, and then you have to not forget your ring. Yeah, when you want to propose your future wife, you have to bring your ring, right? That's one example.
All right. Okay. Not bad. I hope that never happened to you, by the way. Where's the ring? Oh, oops. Right? Because I said before that you have to think about your own life and your own situations. So yeah, definitely do not forget the ring. By the way, what is that ring called? That ring has a special name. Do you know what that ring is called?
I have no idea.
Starts with an E. If I say it, you'll probably be like, oh yeah, of course. So the ring that you give at the wedding is called a wedding ring. The ring that you give to the woman before the wedding to say that you would like to take her as your wife is called a...
Engagement ring.
That's right. Yeah, engagement ring. Yeah, Riza Corp is saying it there in the chat, a couple other people. That gives you lexical resource marks, right? So when you say engagement ring, I can give you a band 8 instead of a band 6 because engagement ring is significantly more specific than just saying ring, okay? So engagement ring. Yeah, now, 2 important corrections here, okay? Eddie, one, try to think simple. So this situation of forgetting an engagement ring when a person is proposing to their future wife, I mean, I'm impressed. That's a unique situation, and I probably would not have thought of that as my first kind of idea. What are some other situations, except for proposing to our wife, where, you know, we're in a life-changing kind of potentially life-changing event or something that impacts our life quite a bit, and we need to remember to have certain items with us? So what other situations come to mind? I think there are a couple other easier
Maybe
ones.
when you have an yeah, maybe when you have an exam
An exam.
and you need to bring your pencil.
Okay,
Yeah.
so examination, sure. What else? Give me a couple more. There should be more. And I always say this to students, like for part 3 questions, even though they might sound tricky, there's always 2 or 3 quick, simple ideas if you really just let loose and kind of let yourself think about those common situations. So yeah, an exam. I would say an exam is more common because we only propose once in our lives. So yeah, engagement ring would be the trickier one to think of. I think there are some easier concepts. Exam is one. What is another one? You might actually see some help there in the chat if you take a peek.
Maybe if you want to go to a supermarket, you should not forget your wallet.
Shopping, right? We talked about that. That was in part 2, right? So going shopping, definitely a good idea to remember your wallet. Okay, so exam, not forgetting your pencil or your notes. Shopping, not forgetting your wallet so that you can pay. What else?
Yeah, going abroad, you should not
Travel.
forget your passport.
Passport, yeah, absolutely. Traveling, passport. That one came to my mind quite quickly. Definitely. Okay. Anything else? When you're going to work?
When you're driving, you should.
Driving, yeah. Your license, right? Okay. Or when you're going to work, probably don't forget your keys. Otherwise, it might be a bit of a headache. Okay, so exam, pencil, shopping, wallet, travel, passport, driving, license, work, keys. All right, try this sentence one more time, Eddie. And this time, don't say you, Okay, notice everyone how it's really difficult. I think you're the third person or maybe even the fourth person today who's saying you in their answer. Try not to use the word you. Say people or individuals or students when you go to the exam, or truck drivers, like Ken was saying, when they drive their truck, right? Tourists when they travel. So use better words, okay? Let me ask the question one more time. Use these ideas. Give me a nice full sentence answer. Sounds good?
Okay.
All right, here we go. In what situations should people pay extra attention to make sure that they carry with them certain useful possessions?
People should not forget to bring this essential object uh, when uh, when they have an important occasions. For example, having an examination, students should not forget to bring their pencil and pens. And for people who want to buy things in the supermarket, for shopping, they should not forget to bring uh, their wallet. And for people who go traveling, they should not forget their passport. And for the people who want to drive a car, they should not forget their driving license, of course. And the last one, if people want to go to office, they should not forget their keys.
Okay, very good. So that was a bit of an overkill. I probably would have stopped at number 3, traveling and passport. And the examiner might actually interrupt you at that point, right? So they'll be like, okay, this person obviously has a lot of ideas of when not to forget certain objects. So 2 or 3 is enough, but for the example's sake, right? Just to show people that there are lots of ideas. It's not just an engagement ring when you're proposing. Definitely don't forget that. Otherwise, the answer might be a no. I'm not marrying this forgetful person. So 2 or 3 are absolutely enough. But again, just keep your thoughts open and think about general situations. And you did a good job there, okay? Notice how when you avoided you came up with much better words like students and so forth. So that was really good. Don't use the word things either. So when people go shopping to buy merchandise or to buy goods instead of the word things, okay? All right, Eddie, thank you for volunteering, and I appreciate you staying up late and studying, and I hope you have a good rest tonight and a great rest of your weekend.
So thank you so much. Bye.
You're very welcome. Bye, Eddie. Okay, that was Eddie, halfway across the world from me. Thumbs up, Eddie. Okay, so some really important tips and advice, right? Avoid the pronouns you. Keep your thoughts simple. Give answers, explanations, examples in that order. It's the best. Connect your ideas, okay? So connect your ideas. Use good connections. Students, I am going to stop there for now, but I encourage you to keep going and to keep practicing with each other using the website. So using aehelp.com. If you like our website and you want some of the best IELTS preparation online, use our premium IELTS course. It doesn't cost a lot of money. You pay once. It's lifetime access. We even have that discount code PERFECT9 to get that 20% discount. And in Canada, it costs $59 US, but in some countries like Vietnam, it's $25 US. I think in Russia, it's $49, so it changes depending on the economy of the country. So we make it available, accessible to everyone. General IELTS, click that big red button to join our premium package. I'm coming back on Thursday with speaking part 1. So remember what I said, that our live class schedules are changing. Live classes will now be on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and they will be longer classes to give more opportunities for students to interact and to practice, learn from each other. So I will post the schedule after this class on YouTube and on Instagram. Instagram is IELTS_AE help and GIELTS help. So make sure to check us out there. Get our apps, Academic IELTS help and General IELTS help. Thank you, members and viewers, for your support, for your participation. Thank you, Eugen, for those lovely emojis. The confetti emoji especially is one that's indicating a fun and festive weekend for everyone. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. Much love to all of you wherever you are in our wonderful world. Bye for now, everyone.